Give me a clap. Clap.
What's going on, everybody? This is Eighth Castle. This is going to be the weekly gaming podcast while you are loading. And my name is Charles, to the
Jenna.
left.
I'm Zac.
All right, and we are going to be starting off with No Man's Sky today. So I've had a chance to play about 25 hours or so of No Man's Sky. I have mixed feelings on the game, but I kind of want to start with you because I know you enjoy the game a little bit more than me.
Yeah, I've put probably 30 to 40 hours in at this point. I haven't played too much this week just because I've been kind of busy, but I really, really like the game. On a technical level, it can definitely be improved. Let's get that out of the way. The controls are a little clunky. The inventory system isn't the greatest. But for me, what the game does well is just that feeling of kind of awe coming back into games.
Yeah.
Because I love exploration for exploration's sake, which if you're interested in the game, if you like that, get the game. See,
there's exploration games that I've played. We talked about Elder Scrolls the other week. I mean, I would consider that on some degree an exploration game. I played Star Wars Galaxy back in the day. That's an exploration game. But one thing that all those games have in common, I noticed, was there's like a consistent like storyline, underlying storyline that's there.
Yeah.
Like a main quest that you can always follow. With this, there's not that main quest per se. I know that the whole goal of the game is to get to the center of the universe.
Yeah, it's a really loose story. Really loose.
I didn't even know there was a story. Going into it, I thought, okay, this is just an exploration game. And that's what I was expecting from it. And I think that's why I wasn't disappointed like a lot of fans were.
Yeah, I think just going on to people being disappointed by it, I think that's kind of what a lot of it was. People expecting it to be, oh, well, you can go into space and just be like a dogfighter in space, like spaceships, not fighting dogs. Or, you can do all this other stuff and just stay on one planet the entire time. While you can do that, there's not too much diversity on the planet, sadly. So you'd kind of, run out of stuff to do pretty quick. Otherwise, it would be the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big complaint about the game as a whole.
Well, like, what was it like in your head? So what you've played thus far, is that what you expected to be going into it?
I knew going in that I was playing the game to be an astronaut or to be an explorer. That's all I wanted out of the game. I wasn't going in thinking, oh, I'm going to build this massive civilization in space and do all this other stuff. For me, it was just the idea of being able to be the first person to be on a planet. Even if no one else ever sees that planet to know I discovered it, the fact that I'm just going onto it and then seeing what's different about each one, exploring them, seeing what kind of secrets they hide, stuff like that. And that's kind of where the story of that game is. It doesn't have a set narrative like a lot of games do now. It's very much about the story that you create with the game.
Yeah, I can see that. You're kind of selling me on a little bit, but I see the problem is with me playing this game. I noticed that I feel like I kind of got Peter Molyneux'd a little bit.
Yeah,
with it.
I could see that.
What were you expecting going into this game? I
was expecting a game where I could play for 8 to 10 hours of Halo, something competitive. And then at the end of the day, I can come and wind down on No Man's Sky and not really have to worry about I wanted something there to kind of chase, kind of like Pokemon Go, for example, which I've been bringing up a lot lately. There's little things that I could do here and there that give me that rewarding feeling, where I feel like I'm accomplishing something in such a small amount of time. But with No Man's Sky, it's kind of I'm just gathering stuff, but I don't really know what I'm gathering it for or what to do with it. I know that for example, getting off the first planet, you need a certain amount of materials that you can find and basically a fairly large vicinity. And then you get off the first planet, and that makes sense. But then after that, it's kind of they don't really tell you that you're not really supposed to collect and hoard stuff in the game because there's not really enough inventory to do that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that bugged me right off the bat was okay, so clearly I can't hoard stuff as much as I would in Elder Scrolls game. So you kind of have to only keep what you really need. because like having read and listened to like a lot of people talk about the game, that is the main point, is to try and get to the center of the universe. So in order to do that, you can't really have a whole lot of stuff with you that like would weigh you down per se.
It's definitely a game of resource management, to a degree. I know another game that a lot of people are comparing it to, is Minecraft.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that. I know a lot of people are saying that that Minecraft outshines it in every possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of how long it took Minecraft to get to be where it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when it first started, it was a very bare bones game. It still kind of is, but now they have these people running these massive servers where there's a giant community with it.
Yeah.
People putting mods and mods and mods and mods into the game. You know, that didn't happen overnight. That took what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, it was.
Really,
I mean, they've been building on it for a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of like the state of games in general right now. It's like you put a game out and then like you're not really getting sequels as quick anymore. So.
No, or if you are, it's from a massive studio like EA
Exactly.
or Activision, where they have multiple companies working on the same series.
Yeah, which they've even decided that they're not going to be doing as much either. But I think, sorry, did you want to?
No, it's okay. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I just
Then I'll
think
put in my input.
that I felt a little, not tricked, but I feel like I was maybe burnt a little bit with it. But I am willing to acknowledge that clearly there's like a lot with this game, and I understand that I probably need to be a little bit more patient with it because it is such an expansive game and there's so much to do. Like, no one's ever going to be able to finish this game. So I think that once they put out a few more updates and I kind of get a chance to see how those improve the game, and once they start adding some things in that people have been complaining about, I think we're like Destiny I brought up last week. I think we're probably going to get a much different experience like year 2, for example.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be cool to see kind of like where the game is like 6 months from now and then like a year from now. So.
But I think the game, from what their creator would say about the game, he delivered what he said. There was so many rumors and speculations about the game that people started to believe, and then there was such a hype train behind it that I feel like that's why people ended up getting disappointed. But really, I think the game is what it was supposed to be. Now I feel like they might want to change it so they feel like
Kinda
can
like
back
obligated?
up what people want. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to kind of like bow to the will of the people with it. Because, I mean, and I know I kind of mentioned this before when we talked about the game. Hello Games is a minuscule studio. It's 15 people.
Yeah.
And compared to another, like we said, Destiny, where that's a much larger studio, they have the ability, like, it was a bit more of a surprise that Destiny wasn't the game that people thought it was. Because you're coming from Bungie, this well-established, almost legendary status studio.
Yeah. And
it kind of fell flat. But that picked up steam pretty quick, especially with the expansions and the Taken King, and now you have the new expansion coming out that people Rise of Iron, that people are getting excited for.
See, and like to cut in there really quick, I think that's like a good point. That's a good balance between what people want versus what like the developer wants to do next. So they realized, like, for example, with year 3, there's some stuff that they want to implement in for Rise of Iron, and they're like, we could do this before we even go on to a sequel game, Destiny 2. So I think with like No Man's Sky, I think that you can find a happy medium of what people want versus what they want to do. Like, I'm pretty sure like on the forums, there's some creative ideas that people have come up with that they could implement in there that wouldn't be that much.
I don't think they're going to change it that much because I think they want to stick to the roots of what they wanted in the first place. But I mean, they really weren't expecting as big of a following, and like how many people loved it. I mean, were expecting to love it as they were I don't even know how to explain that.
I know what you mean. But
Like they didn't expect the game to be as big as it was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But as soon as Sony got behind it, you really started to see that game push to the forefront. If Sony didn't like really start pushing No Man's Sky, we wouldn't have seen Sean Murray on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That would not have happened.
Which blew that game up to the stratosphere.
But like you said, like we've all kind of agreed on, I think the core of the game is really good. Just the idea of being able to go planet to planet to planet is a great idea.
Yeah.
I think for me, I mean, I'm still going to play it because, like I said, I really like the game. It really, kind of made me aware of my sense of wonder in games again. Because there has been, a good period of time where it goes, okay, yeah, that's really good. I can appreciate why this is a good game. I think the last game that made me kind of go, wow, that's awesome, was probably Journey, like, and just on a visual sense.
Yeah.
But every now I'll be playing No Man's Sky and I'll come across, okay, 3 or 4 planets. Yeah, it's a dead planet. There's nothing really going on here. And then I'll find that one, and then it just floors me.
Yeah,
and, like the way it looks and the way that the way the star system is kind of put together with it, where you get like 3 or 4 planets all like really close by, and you can see them, and it looks great.
Yeah, visually the game looks fantastic to me. Visually, I think it looks phenomenal.